I'm going to be comparing and contrasting two of the leading JavaScript libraries out there. That's Vue and React. A little bit about me. I'm Cody Smith. I'm a graduate of Turing School of Software and Design. I have a good amount of experience with React so far and React Native, but I haven't built anything in Vue yet. So to get some like context for this, I actually built like a little sort of movie app in Vue. So just a quick clarification here as well. I learned people always debate library or framework, people always debate what that means. React is technically a library, I guess you could say, because it is made up of other third-party things, like actually React Context API isn't third-party, but Redux is, React Router is. Angular, on the other hand, is just Angular, and it comes with everything that you need. So I feel like that modularity makes React more of like a library, Vue more of like a library, and Angular more of a framework. Just wanted to clarify that to make sure my language is clear for the rest of this presentation. Some background about Vue. It was released in February 2014 by a former Google employee named Evan You. As you may know, Google developed and uses the Angular framework. You really wanted to take the parts about Angular that he liked, but build something that was just more lightweight. And that's what he did. Couple more facts about that. Vue uses an HTML-based template syntax that you can see here. This all gets rendered to the virtual DOM, just like React does, just how React works. One interesting thing is you can also use JSX in a Vue component instead of the HTML template syntax. So it's kind of flexible, and there's some more examples of this coming up here as well. Some official libraries that Vue has is Router, just like React Router. Vue has Vuex, which is a lot like Redux for React, and Vue Server Renderer, which I did not have a chance to use. But Vuex felt a lot like Redux in terms of flow, structure. Some quick basic background about React, if you don't already know. It was developed by Facebook, arguably the most widely used JavaScript library out there. And as I mentioned earlier, there's not really official packages, but there's a lot of third-party packages out there. So some direct comparisons that I noticed when I was kind of building, because I built this similar app in React and Vue. So, and I guess starting with our global state management, you can see on top a diagram of the Vuex flow. If you've used Redux before, you can see how it's pretty similar in that it has like the Vue components setting off an action, which sends some sort of data through the mutator or reducer, like if you're in Redux, and that sets the new data in our global state or store. And finally, that new data is mapped out to reappear on the DOM. So they both have there's different, but work practically the same way. I think they're pretty evenly matched here. Working with local state in Vue was interesting, and I felt pretty different from what I was used to in React. So this is an example from the Vue docs of managing state in a stateful component. It almost shares some similarities to like a vanilla JavaScript class to me, in that it's like updating your own data model within these methods and sort of like directly mutating the data and the state of the class. Whereas in React state, or within React, it's a little different. You have to call React's setState method that you can see here. I personally like this. I think it helps prevent some strange bugs from coming up that you might get from mutating state directly. So I like React in that regard. And in terms of hooks, hooks are actually brand new to Vue. They only added hooks to Vue in the production version on September 18th. So I didn't have much chance to use these, but I looked into them, and they seem to take a lot of inspiration from React's lifestyle methods, and Vue is starting to use these lifestyle methods more. But I didn't quite find much of the ability to use hooks yet, like you can in React. Like you can see here, this is, at least when I'm working with local state in React, hooks are a great, easy way to update the local state. So it's nice to see that Vue is getting better with lifecycle methods and everything, but I don't know if they're at the level React is at quite yet. And then, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Vue uses this HTML template syntax, but Vue uses the HTML syntax and React uses JSX. But since Vue can really use both, again, it kind of wins here because it's more flexible. So ultimately, when it comes to comparing these two frameworks, it is always worth reminding yourself that despite the differences, you can pretty much build the same exact site in Vue as you could with React. It's just about what works better for you. I think what Vue really has going for it is that you can insert a Vue component into any project you have, and it will do what it needs to do. React doesn't quite have the same flexibility. For example, if you're transitioning to a front-end JavaScript framework from like a PHP built front-end or Ruby on Rails website, you can try creating just one Vue component and slowly working from there. And I think that's one example of what really sets Vue apart from React. But React has a ridiculous amount of third-party extensions that make it pretty much just as flexible as Vue, and just in different ways. It's also the industry favorite. But industry favorite doesn't always mean best. So it's really up to you to decide what works best for your project. And hopefully I made that decision a little easier for you. So thanks for watching. You can connect with me. Here's my email. You can find me on GitHub, LinkedIn, and all this information is on my Hopin profile too. So you can check that out.